don't get the lower portions of the storm. We don't get those scans as well when we get the radar beam that is shooting higher up, the farther out it is. So the radar is actually situated just outside of downtown Nashville, and the farther out you go, the higher up we're getting a slice of the storm. So unfortunately, we can't get a really low scan out here with this cell. So we're basing, the National Weather Service is basing their information off of the scans that we can get, and it's still showing signs of rotation there. So they're continuing the warning for now. Now, the storm itself is beginning to move out of White County and more into Putnam County and into Cumberland County here. So we're almost at the triple point of the counties here. And the area of rotation, I would say, is going to be right around here near Ravenscroft, headed towards Glade Creek. If you're around any of these locations, or if you know or have friends and family that may be traveling between here and Knoxville right now, maybe want to give them a call and a heads up along I-40 here. This will be crossing over through Cumberland County here, I would say in the next 10 to 15 minutes, perhaps even 20, because it's not moving too fast. But we'll track this part out again. About 35 miles per hour. Monterey in the next 15 minutes. So yeah, 15 minutes from now, approaching I-40. So again, if you have anyone that you know that is traveling on interstate right now to or from Knoxville to Nashville, might be a good idea just to give them a call, make sure that they are aware that there is a tornado warning, and the cell that is prompting the warning will pass over I-40 in the next 15 minutes or so. Monterey, 14 minutes, this storm impacting you. Woody in the next 25 minutes, and Cliff Springs in the next 25 minutes. So we're getting more into Cumberland County and out of Putnam County here and into lower Overton County, outside of the polygon that they have in effect right now. So that's what we have at the moment. I'm going to go back over to our rotation detection. Evident that we're still seeing a little bit of rotation here on radar, and that's what Weather Service was mentioning, the fact that the rotation is still there. It has weakened a little bit. So it's south of Doug Hill, to the east of Spring Hill, and just north of Ravenscroft, and to the west of Glade Creek. So that's going to be where we're watching for anything that might be on the ground right now. We don't have confirmation of a tornado just yet, but we're still seeing a little bit of life in this storm here, and so we want to stick with this and make sure we're giving the folks out in White, Cumberland, and Putnam counties a decent heads up. Scott, we'll send it back over to you.
You bet, Katie. When we have a warning like this, we essentially want you to go to your safe place and have a way that you can monitor the weather, like the Fox 17 News app. Maybe you can just turn your television up depending on where you are, or if you've got some power in there, and the way televisions are now that they can receive signals wirelessly through your Wi-Fi at your house, maybe take a television in there with you. Where's the safest place? Well, go to the basement if you've got one, if not the lowest level of your home, and an interior room or someplace like a closet that doesn't have any windows, because if the worst should happen and your house is hit, you don't want to be anywhere where flying glass can get to you. A lot of people wish they had a basement, especially when we have severe weather like this, but they do not. So they're thinking, all right, if you've got steps in your house and there's a closet underneath your steps, that is the strongest place on the ground floor of your home. Get in there. If you don't, a lot of people have an interior bathroom, maybe a water closet that your guests use that doesn't have any windows. It's maybe at the end of a hallway. That is your safest place. And just a quick reminder here as we continue to monitor conditions.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. And we're continuing to monitor here the tornado warning in Cumberland, White, and Putnam counties, and this is going to go until 5:15. I've also hopped on our Facebook page, and I'm monitoring any comments, any questions that folks may have in regards to the storm here. And I did see that someone was asking about Jeopardy. We're going to stick with this here, and we'll get that call when Weather Service decides that we no longer are in an immediate threat. So folks in these areas here are in an immediate threat for possible tornado. I would say the area of rotation is is moving more out of White County here, and we're getting into eastern portions of Putnam County, and just on the border here of Cumberland County, approaching I-40 as we head through the next few scans here. I think we'll get a little bit closer to the interstate. So this will be right along Cumberland County, pushing more towards Putnam County here, but the area of most concern continues to be right around Glade Creek. And we'll continue to monitor here a little bit of rotation that's showing up now, pushing through Putnam County. So we're efforting to any reports that we can get coming in from these counties here. If you know of anything that is going on as far as friends or family in the area, please let us know. But for now, we're going to still stick with this for folks that are in and around these areas here. Hillwood Estates over to Mayland. This is I-40 in Cumberland County, just to the west of Crossville, and this is going to be just south of Monterey in Putnam County. So Weather Service updating, saying basically same thing I was just talking about, the fact that it's pushing more into Putnam County now, showing a little bit of strengthening, still some life, especially with the amount of rotation they're seeing. So it might be pulsing a little bit, and they're going to keep the warning going, but will exclude White counties shortly. So it does look like they are going to trim the warning, and we'll see that shortly here. So I would say for those that are in White County, you are in the clear. So for Bon Air, Ravenscroft, Spring Hill, this area of rotation has passed you now. White County is no longer in danger with this tornado warning, and we will see the Weather Service update it here shortly. But it is passing more into Putnam County, eastern portions of Putnam County, toward Monterey, and western portions of Cumberland County to the west of Crossville, near Mayland, and right along I-40, the interstate. So that is our latest scan coming in, showing the rotation here that continues to push through portions of the Cumberland Plateau. And this is going to be what they look like. They're not monster-looking storms. I mentioned this yesterday, where today might be one of those sneaky tornado setups where the tornado setup's not great, but there's just enough rotation in the atmosphere where even these small cells like this don't even have lightning with them, but these small cells can produce a little bit of rotation. There's the update that the Weather Service just put in, and thank you for updating the lower third there, so that's good. Putnam County and Cumberland County remain in the tornado warning. White County is now in the clear for tornado warning. So this is where we're at. I'm going to zoom back out here just for reference of where we are. If you are just joining us, we are tracking a tornado warning in Putnam and Cumberland counties right now. Here's Nashville, so this is going to be out toward the plateau. And everywhere else, we are warning free at the moment. There are no active watches in effect, but again, today's setup is one of those where the overall conditions aren't that favorable, not that great for tornadic activity. So not enough to issue a watch, but possible that we could have a cell or two with some rotation in it. So for now, we have the one tornado warning that is in effect here until 5:15. So the time is 4:52. More storms starting to push toward the Tennessee River. And these ones not looking all that impressive either at the moment, but they are showing some lightning at least within them. So we'll likely need to watch these for the potential for rotation as well. As we get more into the early evening hours, I think we may move into a slightly elevated or slightly better area for spin-ups. So between now and 8 o'clock is going to be our time frame. This is going to be fairly short as far as the threat for severe weather, but next few hours we'll have to make sure that we're staying weather aware for anything that may be trying to spin up. So that's the cell here that we're watching, and I want to take a look at our rotation here. So it is showing signs of rotation. It has picked up a little more. Just south of I-40 now, Hillwood Estates, and south of Monterey in Putnam County, and this is Cumberland County. So we're right on the county lines. Mayland, I-40, Hillwood Estates, right on the Putnam-Cumberland County line, is going to be where we are watching. This is going to be right on Laurel Way, Poston Drive, headed towards Junior Camp Road. So that is where we're looking at the best rotation at the moment, on top of Laurel Way and Poston Drive, south of Hillwood Estates along I-40. That is where the current tornado warning is. For those in and around these locations around Monterey, please make sure that you go ahead and take your tornado precautions if you're not there already. Lowest level of your home, away from windows. We need you in an interior room. Would be good, and of course if you have a basement, that's excellent. That's where you'd want to be. So that's what we're looking at the moment here, from Hillwood Estates south of Monterey, headed towards Cumberland County. And there's the latest scan here, still showing a little bit of rotation, might be pulsing again. So we're sticking with this until the warning is set to expire at 5:15. Just checking over here on Weather Service to see if we have any more information. So still haven't heard too much from Weather Service about any possible damage. But for the location that we're in, out towards the plateau, again, the radar beams, they shoot higher up, so it's harder to get inside the storm at a lower level to see if there is rotation at the lowest level of the storm closest to the surface. But the fact that we're seeing a fairly decent couplet here on radar this far out is showing that this is a storm that we want to make sure we're taking seriously with anything that might be trying to produce a tornado at the moment. A little storm too. This again doesn't look too menacing on radar if you were just looking at reflectivity like we are here now. Not even seeing any lightning associated with it. But again, this one here is going to be passing I-40. I mentioned a little earlier, if you have friends and family, know of anyone that's traveling between Nashville and Knoxville, might want to give them a call. Just make sure that they're aware of this storm that is getting ready to pass over here, a possible tornado. So tornado warned storm that is moving over the interstate at this time. A lot of heavy rain with these storms, and that is something we'll continue to find as we head through the weekend, is heavy rain. The severe weather threat remains fairly low each and every day. The difference today was the fact that we had a warm front push through this morning, and warm fronts can be sneaky for severe weather, especially rotating storms. So right along that warm front, sometimes just ahead of it, we can sometimes find, and then on the other side of it, can find storms that rotate. And if we have enough moisture, which we have plenty of, they can often rotate. And so that's kind of the setup that we have today. Why this today is a little different than all the other days that we have with storm chances around. Once again here, this one getting ready to push over 40. We'll zoom in pretty close here, right on Poston Road now, East Cove Road, headed towards I-40. And looks like Nature's Way, George Branch Road. These are all places that are going to be closest to that rotation that is working its way through here. So we've got the inflow from the storm coming in there, and behind that we have winds coming out of the storm that is causing it to rotate at this time. So that's the area that we're most concerned with as far as the potential for a tornado that is pushing over 40 along I-40, Cumberland County, and very eastern portions of Putnam County. This is starting to push more into Cumberland County, it looks like. We will continue to follow this one here. Now, another storm to the south of it here, moving through Crossville. Not worried about that one. But again, we're watching this one lone storm out on the plateau that is showing signs of rotation here. Storms to the west continue to gain a little bit of strength, and this will bring more heavy rain, potential of thunder, lightning, and maybe some small hail, some gusty winds. The potential for a spin up remains as well. Next few hours are going to be the highlight for if anything is going to pop, turn strong or severe. It's going to be between now and probably 8-9 o'clock tonight, and then we should quiet down as we head more into early tomorrow morning. So More storms expected as we head into the afternoon hours. But immediate concern continues to be for the tornado warning here moving through Cumberland County, now passing over I-40. And this is going to be moving through right on the border of Putnam County now. So we're not seeing too much in the way of this in Putnam County at the moment. So let me see real fast here. I'm going to take a look at a 3D scan inside the storm just to see how tall we're looking. These storms are generally small. They're not real big height-wise. So zoom out a little bit. There's our guideline. So 30,000 feet. These storms are not that tall. So these are low top storms that are pushing through perhaps 20,000 feet right now. So this gives us a vertical scan, a vertical look inside the storm. It is really great when we're looking at the potential for hail because we can see hail cores within the storm here, but that does not look like it's a problem today. So again, the storm is fairly low, meaning it's not very tall, it's not very strong, there's no lightning associated with it, but sometimes again, if we have just enough spin in the atmosphere, these storms can rotate, and that's what's happening here and can produce these brief tornadoes. Scott's been at the anchor desk, and he's keeping up to date with any new information that we're getting from Putnam and Cumberland counties. We'll send it over to Scott.
Katie, thanks. Holding the clipboard for the most part at the moment. Just rechecked the Facebook pages of both the Cumberland County and the Putnam County Emergency Management Agency Facebook pages. So far, no residents are reporting any damage. So that's solid news. I should mention that there are still about 1,000 people here in the Nashville area that do not have power. That's NES customers because of the front that moved through Nashville earlier today. So there's right at 1,000 people here in the immediate Nashville area that get power from NES that are waiting for the lights to come back on. Katie, it's nice to see that it was really cool when you gave us the 3D look, because we have seen much taller storms where you have to worry about hail, so at least we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, at this point, I think hail is going to be a smaller concern. We might find a few gusts of wind within some of these storms too, and again, the potential for a spin up. The Weather Service continues to debate on if they're going to extend this warning right now. They're still seeing signs of rotation within the storm. So for folks in Cumberland County and into parts of Putnam County here, this is kind of tracking right over Cumberland County and then moving more back into Putnam County, eastern portions of Putnam County. There's the edge of the polygon. And so right now the question is whether or not they're going to extend this warning more north. Because they are still seeing signs of rotation within the cell. So this would mean more of, more so out of Putnam County, and we get into then Overton County, southern Overton County. So this is one that we'll wait and see what they decide to do with this one here. But again, showing enough concern and still some rotation now right on top of I-40 as it passes over the interstate here just south of Hillwood Estates, where we could have a tornado that is passing over I-40 at the moment. And so that is what they're currently looking at right now. If they were to extend this would push more into Overton and Fentress County. So I think if they were to extend the warning, I'll scan this here and we'll set this out about 35 to 40 miles per hour. These would be some of the communities if they were to extend it. Monterey pushing through now, Cliff Springs in 9 minutes, and Grimsley in about 26 minutes from now here through Fentress County. So that would be where they would issue the new warning if they decide to do that. This one is set to expire at 5:15. So they will make that call here with a couple more scans to go within the storm. So we're still watching this one here, and it has had a little bit of pulsing history where we saw a good scan which prompted the warning and then kind of broadened and weakened a little bit and then kind of got some life again. So that's what we're seeing with these storms, at least this one storm that is tornado warned, as it pushes more into Fentress County. So I'm going to just go ahead and give folks in Fentress and Overton County a heads up on this storm here. Cliff Springs over towards Campground, Grimsley, Wilder, Muddy Pond, and probably would be just outside of the warning, Banner Springs. But these locations here would be up next on deck, if you will, for possible downstream warning if they decide to issue one. So I think they're still talking about it and taking a look at some of the latest scans to see if there's enough rotation there to continue this warning here. So the warning that we have in effect goes for about another 10 minutes. Other than that, sticking with this here until it is either allowed to expire or they cancel it early. This does remain the only storm that we are watching as we zoom back out. More storms to our west, non-severe. There is no active watch in effect. This is the only warned storm that we have in our viewing area. There is a severe thunderstorm warning out in East Tennessee right now. So that one probably producing some hail along with some gusty winds. So these storms here are going to be small but mighty, we'll call them. These are not producing any lightning, the one that has the tornado warning on it at the moment. But we do have a little bit more lightning off to our west toward the Tennessee River. So we are finding more showers and thunderstorms here along the Tennessee River, and those will be pushing toward Middle Tennessee. So we're not quite done with our severe risk for the afternoon. We will have the potential for more showers and storms as we head into the next couple of hours here. So that's what we've got going on at the moment. Definitely feels like a severe weather day outside. It's quite stormy. It's been stormy all day, but it's very humid. As we take a look again from downtown, clearing out a little bit after several rounds of rain. And there's another look at our Nissan Stadium camera. The cloud cover for us may be our saving grace for today, that most of us have seen the cloud deck hang on, and that's helping to keep a lot of our energy contained for severe storms to develop. If the storms can't grow, then they can't develop, and the cloud cover helps with that. So it's good that we've had the cloud cover for much of the afternoon, but that level 1 risk does remain in effect for the evening hours here, another few hours. Scott at the anchor desk with a new update for us.
Katie, nothing to report in terms of damage, and that's good news, but we do want to pass along what we're talking about when we say go to your safe space and monitor. At my house, the safe space, since we don't have a basement, is the lowest level of my home, underneath the steps, away from windows. We've also got a bathroom nearby that doesn't have any windows, and if there's a bunch of us, sometimes we divide and get in there. An interior room or a closet, if you don't have maybe steps that you can get under, but the big thing is to stay away from windows and put yourself in a position where you can continue to monitor the weather, because as Katie mentioned, it's possible in the not too distant future we'll get the all clear on this, and you don't want to be hiding away in your home unnecessarily. The big thing is to be prepared and have your phones charged and have the Fox 17 Code Red weather app, and if you can, have your television on where you can continue to listen to the watches and the warnings that we are sharing with you.
All right, thanks so much, Scott. Just checking in to see if we have any new information coming in from the Weather Service here. So the tornado warning for Putnam and for Cumberland counties continue. The immediate area of concern continues to be in eastern Putnam County, but right on the edge of the polygon, so right about here. And this will be near Cliff Springs shortly. So we are continuing to watch this. Okay, I just got new information from the Weather Service here. It looks like they're going to go ahead and let this expire at 5:15. So what that means is the warning will continue, but the threat for a tornado has lessened greatly. So they're going to let the warning expire, and they will not reissue a new one. So this cell here has likely lost its steam. So we're going to continue to watch this here. I want to get you guys back to Jeopardy. We'll continue to watch this, and again, the warning is set to expire at 5:15. They will allow that to happen, and it looks like the immediate threat for tornado now has passed for Putnam and Cumberland counties. Again, things change. We will be back with you. We have Fox 17 News at 5:30 coming up shortly, but right now we'll get you back to Jeopardy.